Hey, good morning everyone. Saturday morning here. Been a real busy week. Got a fair bit accomplished. Lots of little stuff, cleaning up parts, cleaning fasteners, painting oil pan, all of the bolt-on stuff for the motor. I got the bottom end of the motor all put together. Went to the city yesterday, picked up the cylinder heads. Ended up they had to put some guides in. They ground the valves and the heads were warped a bit, so they shaved them down about 10 thou. So planning on final assembly on the motor today. I'll just kind of take you around, show you what we got done, and go from there. We got I got the transmission all cleaned up, all the grease and grime off, took the pan off, changed the filter in the gasket, resealed the tailstock, and put in a seal for the torque converter on the input. One suggestion I'd make is before you pull the torque converter off, put a straight edge across, take a measurement for the depth of your torque converter. That'll give you a reference for when you put the torque converter back in, because you got two splines and the pump to engage, and it will go in and you can spin it and you think it's all the way in, but it's not in the pump properly. So having that reference measurement is kind of a guarantee to make sure that you're not going to have any issues. If you do put it in and the pump's not engaged, it doesn't take very long and that transmission's going to be needing a trip to the tranny shop for a rebuild. Okay, other thing we got done, a little bit of I took the original valve covers and cleaned them all up, ground off all of the goofy brackets that they had for holding wires and stuff on the intake manifold. I'm going to have way less wires and stuff than there was on the old Chrysler, so I don't need those. What I painted them with was this VHT Wrinkle Plus. Not real happy with this stuff. Followed the directions to a T, and I got a really blotchy finish. Some areas never even wrinkled. They're still a little bit shiny. These sat out in the 30-degree sun. Well, first they sat in the shop for 2 days, and then I put them out in the sun for all of yesterday, 30+ degrees Celsius, and they still didn't wrinkle. So they're going to go on the way they are, as Rat Rod Bob would say. It's just a rat rod. So what I'm using for the Hemi Orange is Duplicolor engine enamel with ceramic. It's got good and bad reviews. I guess we'll see how it works. It is tough to cover. Takes three coats minimum. I got the water pump assembly, timing cover. The oil pan's already painted. I'm just going to mask off when I paint the block and the cylinder heads. I can put those on. A little bit of Rust-Oleum gloss black on the pulleys. All of the fasteners went through Varsol bath and then ground on wire wheel on the bench grinder, and now they're all painted Rust-Oleum as well. The cylinder heads looking really good. Cleaned up really nice. I had to take them some extra valves. There was a few of the valves were not in very good shape. So we've got the cams in, timing set, pistons are all in. I'm just going to get ready to put the heads on here, get them on, then I can get everything cleaned up, masked off, and get the block all painted as well. So that's kind of what my project is today. I want to get this engine sealed up and out of the dust. Out here on the prairies, there's a lot of that crap blows around. So that's where we're at. One of the other things I wanted to do, I didn't do on the last one. Just show you here. This is the worst of the cam bearings. See if I can get this positioned so you can see how much Babbitt material is actually missing out of that. It's terrible. that would have been just a disaster waiting to happen. Glad I decided to take it in, have the block all checked to prevent that. Spend all this money. So just going to put you back on the stand here, and I'll explain a little bit about the costs of doing these Dodges. This 440, I didn't do the complete rebuild on it. Wasn't in the budget. So what I've done is the heads, I did a good job on those, got the right castings. The block, the crank was in good condition. I just did a light polish with some 1000 grit lubricated emery, and new rods, mains, cam bearings, all the frost plugs. The tank was acid dipped. New oil pump, new timing set and lifters. What else have I got that's new? The intake manifold, the complete rebuild gasket set, water pump, a bunch of miscellaneous stuff and paint. And here's just a list of what it's cost so far to do this 440. The block with the new bearings and piston rings and everything was $5.25. The heads cost me $200, and then $430 to replace guides, assemble them all, grind the valves, and have them machined down. Gasket set was $120, $380 for an intake manifold. The cam set with lifters and timing chain and gears was $420. Oil pumps $150, and paint and miscellaneous is about $350. So we're looking right around the $2,500 mark just to lightly freshen this motor up, not a complete rebuild. That's almost in the ballpark for buying a complete small block Chevy, completely rebuilt with new pistons and stuff. If I'd had done a bore job on this and replaced the pistons alone are about $650, and then the board be another $350. So she would have been getting into some money, and then a guy's got to do the crank and everything else. So I'm not trying to steer you away from Chrysler, because not a lot of people are doing them, especially in a rat rod. And part of being a rat rodder is doing things a little different. So it's going to be worth the extra cost, and I think the sound is going to be worth it as well. So, okay guys, I'll give you an update once the motor's all back together here. Talk to you later.